Hello, welcome. Let's discuss the prelims facts regarding the 12th November 2020. The first article we have to discuss here is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization, also called as SCO, the 20th summit of SCO, Council of Heads of State, had recently held via video conference. That is, let's remember this term, Council of Head of States, and we will discuss later about it. What is SCO? It is a permanent intergovernmental organization which was founded in 2001 by the members of China, Russia, along with four countries, ending with the term called STAN. That means Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. These are the four TANs, and Russia and China. Kazakhstan, China, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. And now the members, these are the founding members. What are the present members means? China, India, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. What are the new members means? India and Pakistan are the new members for this SCO, which were added as permanent members in the year 2017. In 2017, the SCO has expanded and giving the permanent membership to the India and Pakistan. And let's see here, what are the members means? Here the India, Pakistan, and Tajikistan, and Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, along with Russia and China. What are the members? Just a minute. Here is the India. India, Pakistan, China, Russia. Let's see clockwise. Russia, China, India, Pakistan, along with four stans, which are the founding members. What are these founding members? Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan. And removing two stans, that is, there is no membership for the Afghanistan and Turkmenistan. Removing these two, that is Turkmenistan, which is far away from the Central Asia, somewhat far away. That is near the Caspian Sea. That is the Turkmenistan. And second one is Afghanistan, which is a somewhat less democratic country compared to all these countries, and there is no stable government. That's why it is not included. And members means Pakistan, India, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and China, and also Russia. These are the members of the SCO. And what are the observer state members means? Iran, Belarus, and Afghanistan. These three are, and Mongolia. These are the these are given with the observer status. Coming to the observer status, here Iran, Afghanistan, which is having no membership but observer status. Iran, Afghanistan, Mongolia. Here Mongolia, these cutaways are covered now by the circle. This whole country is the SCO's prominent region, and coming out in this, Mongolia is somewhat far away, and Afghanistan included here, and Iran, along with Belarus in the Europe continent. These four are the member countries for the European SCO organization. Here is the country Belarus. Here the country Belarus, it is surrounded by, on the one side it is Russia, on the and other side it is surrounded by the Ukraine, and on this side it is surrounded by Poland, and here Lithuania and Latvia. Coming to the borders, on the north side it is surrounded by Lithuania and Latvia. On the north, Lithuania and Latvia. On the east side, Russia. On the south side, Ukraine. On the west side, it is surrounded by the Poland. This is the geographical location of the Belarus, and the capital of the Belarus is Minsk or Minsk. This is all about the Belarus. And coming to the again into the article, Afghanistan, Belarus, Iran, and Mongolia have given observer status, and the secretariat of this SCO is present in the Beijing of China. You don't have to be confused because the name SCO stands for Shanghai Cooperation Organization. That's why the secretariat is not present in the Shanghai. It is present in the Beijing of the China. And what are the goals? Strengthening mutual trust and neighborliness among the member states of the SCO, and promoting effective cooperation in the politics, trade, economy, research, technology, culture, education, energy, transport, tourism, and environment protection. That means effective cooperation and mutual trust in the neighborhood and polity, trade, and economy, so on so things. And making joint efforts to maintain, ensure peace, security, and stability in the region. This is important. Making joint efforts to maintain peace, security, and stability in the region. Moving towards the establishment of a democratic, fair, rational, and new international political order and economic order. And coming to the other facts, the SCO has the three organs. What are the three organs means? Two are the councils, and another one is a structural organization. What are these two councils are? Head of States Council is the first thing, and head of the governments is the second thing. Head of States Council, head of Government Council. SCO, head of Government Council. Coming to the head of State Council, it is the supreme decision making body of the SCO. Which is the supreme decision making body in the SCO means head of States Council. It meets once a year and adopts decisions, guidelines on the important matters of the organization. And coming to the SCO, heads of state government council, it means also once a year, and discuss organizational multilateral cooperation strategy and priority areas. Multilateral cooperation strategies it will discuss to resolve current important economic and other cooperation issues. It approves organization's annual budget. This is so important. The budget of the SCO has been approved by the head of government's council. And coming to the RATS, that is Regional Anti-Terrorist Organization. This is the third organ of the SCO. It is a permanent organ of the SCO which serves to promote cooperation of the member state. Promote cooperation of member state against three evils of terrorism, separatism, and extremism. These three things you have to remember. In these three evils, it will fight against this. Where are the headquarters of this RATS is in the Tashkent, Uzbekistan. The headquarters of RATS is in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. And coming to the Interstate Migrants Policy Index, it has been recently released, and it has been developed by Mumbai-based research non-profit organization, that is India Migration Now, IMN is the non-profit organization releases interstate migration policy. It ranks and compares all states of India on a total value of 100 based on their migrant integration policies. 100 based migrant integration policies, it will rank the states. And the taken parameters for the index is 8 policy areas such as child rights, education, health and sanitation, housing, identity and registration, labor market, social benefits and political inclusion. These are the 8 policy matters which were included to calculate this migration index, interstate migration index. According to the this interstate migration index, Kerala has topped the list with a score of 57, and second is Goa with a score of 51, and third is the Rajasthan with also 51. The 7 states of Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala attract 51% of the interstate migrants. That means these 7 states host for the 51% of the migrant population. What are the states means? Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. The south western border, that is the Tamil Nadu, here the ending Tamil Nadu, Kerala, excepting Karnataka, Maharashtra is there again. And coming to this, then above the Maharashtra, Gujarat is there. And coming to the North India, excepting the Jammu Kashmir, and under the Jammu Kashmir, removing the Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, here Punjab and Haryana and Delhi. These are the states. 3 states in the northern India, 4 states in the South India attract major migrant population. These are the heavily dependent on the agriculture states and somewhat also industrially developed states. And coming to the 30-meter telescope, recently Indian astronomer collaborated with 2020 Physics Nobel laureate Professor Andrea Ghez on design of the back-end instruments and possible science prospects of the 30-meter telescope. That's why it was in news. Recently, one of the Indian astronomer consulted the Physics Nobel laureate Andrea Ghez on the design of the back-end instruments of this TMT project. The location of this TMT was in Mauna Kea, Hawaii Island of the USA, and designed and developed by the TMT International Observatory LLC, that is TIO. The 30-meter telescope is a new class of extremely large telescope, will allow us to see deeper into the space and observe cosmic objects with unprecedented sensitivity. We can see the object more accurately. It is a result of international partnership between Caltech and universities of the following universities: California, Canada, Japan, China, and India. All these universities along with Caltech combine an international partnership to form the 30-meter telescope. The size of this 30-meter telescope is in diameter, it is 30 meters, and collecting area 655 square meters, total collecting area, and resolutions 12 times sharper than the previously Hubble Space Telescope. 12 times sharper than this Hubble telescope, and mirror having 492 segments of reflective glass piece together to form one gained primary mirror. 492 mirrors combined to form a single primary gained mirror. 30 meters diameter and 12 times sharper than Hubble telescope. This you have to remember. And coming to the Armenia-Azerbaijan peace deal, and here recently the clashes between Armenia and Azerbaijan agreed on a deal with the Russia to end the fierce clashes over this region, that is Nagorno-Karabakh region. Where it is located means this is the Azerbaijan and this is the Armenia. This shaded area is the Nagorno-Karabakh region. This is a mountainous region. And coming to the Nagorno-Karabakh, it is a landlocked region in the South Caucasus. The South Caucasus is the region between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. This is the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea. The area between these two areas is called as South Caucasus, with the mountainous range of the Karabakh. Karabakh is a mountainous range. It is located between Western Asia and Eastern Europe. This this Nagorno-Karabakh located between the uh, West Asia. This is the West Asia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, so and so countries. And in the above, it is the Europe, Eastern Europe. Between the Eastern Europe and the West Asia, it is located the Nagorno-Karabakh region. Internationally recognized, it is a part of Azerbaijan, but most of the region controlled by the Armenian separatists from the war of 1999. And Armenia and Azerbaijan, what is the peace deal means? These both countries maintain position in the areas which they are currently hold. All military operations are suspended, and Russian peacekeepers deployed along the line of contact at the Nagorno-Karabakh along with the Lachin corridor that connects the region to the Armenia. What is the Lachin corridor? The connection between the Armenia and this region is the Lachin corridor. Along this region and these important regions, along these important regions is the there is the Russian peacekeepers will be deployed, and refugees and internally displaced persons will return to the region now without any fear, and adjacent territories and two sides of will also exchange prisoners of war and the bodies between the Armenia and the Azerbaijan. And coming to the next article regarding the purple frog. Recently, a senior forest officer said that proposal for declaring the purple frog as Kerala's official amphibian. Purple frog as Kerala's official amphibian. The is in active consideration of the state government, not yet confirmed, just a matter of concern. And it is also known as purple frog or Maveli frog or pignose frog, and it will belong to the family of Suglosidae. The purple frog is frog species belong to the family of Suglosidae. And features, coming to the features, the body appears robust and bloated and relatively somewhat rounded compared to other flattened frogs. Compared to the frogs, it has small head, unusual pointed snout. Compared to the other frogs, all frogs are somewhat flat in shape, but it is somewhat robust and bloated and relatively rounded in shape. And when compared to the other frogs, the head is somewhat related to the body matches, but here the head is comparatively very small. And adults are typically dark purplish gray in color, and it lives almost its entire life in the underground tunnels only. Comes out to the surface for a single day in year to breed. ఒక 1 ఇయర్‌లో ఒక్కరోజు మాత్రమే బయటికొస్తుంది. అది బ్రీడ్ చేయడానికి మాత్రమే బయటికొస్తుంది అంటున్నారు. డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్ ఎర్లియర్ థాట్ టు బి restricted to the south of the Palghat Gap between the Western Ghats. The species is known to be widely distributed in the Western Ghats. Mainly, it is distributed in the Western Ghats, south of the Palghat Gap of the Western Ghats mainly. And coming to the history, the herpologists. The study of amphibians is called as the herpology. The herpologists believe that species should have been rightly called a living fossil, as its evolutionary roots suggest that have shared space between dinosaurs going almost back to 70 million years ago. దాని యొక్క ఎవల్యూషనరీ రిలేషన్స్ తీసుకున్నట్టయితే ఇది డైనోసార్స్ కాలంలోటి లింకేజెస్ ఉన్నందువల్ల, మధ్యలో ఏ లింక్స్ లేనందువల్ల దీన్ని ఒక లివింగ్ ఫాజిల్ అని చెప్పి పిలుస్తారనమాట herpetologists. Next, conservation status. It is enlisted as endangered in the IUCN Red List Data Book. And coming to the next article regarding the Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, who is the first education minister of India, and celebrating November 12th as the November 11th celebrated the birth anniversary of the Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, and National Education Day on this day celebrated every year towards his contribution to the education in India. Originally named Mohiuddin Ahmad, was born in 11th November 1888 in Makkah, Saudi Arabia. He was born in Makkah, Saudi Arabia. Was a brilliant debater, indicated by his name Abul Kalam. His name indicates he is a brilliant debater, which literally means Lord of Dialogues. That means the God of the dialogues. And coming to he was a proponent of Hindu-Muslim unity and opposite to the partition of India. In 1912, Azad started a weekly journal in the Urdu called Al-Hilal. What is the weekly journal started by Azad? Al-Hilal, which played an important role in forging Hindu-Muslim unity after the bad blood created between the two communities aftermath of the Morley Minto reforms. That means మార్లీ మింటో రిఫార్మ్స్ జరిగిన తర్వాత హిందూ ముస్లిమ్స్ మధ్య ఈ క్లాష్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఈ ఆల్ హిలాల్ అనే వీక్లీ జర్నల్ ఉర్దూలో వచ్చింది. హిందూ ముస్లిం యూనిటీకి ఒక ఇంపార్టెంట్ వెహిమెంట్ గా యాక్ట్ చేసింది అనమాట. మౌలానా అబుల్ కలాం ఆజాద్ సపోర్టెడ్ నాన్ కోఆపరేషన్ మూవ్మెంట్ స్టార్టెడ్ బై ద గాంధీజీ అండ్ ఎంటర్డ్ ద ఇండియన్ నేషనల్ కాంగ్రెస్ ఇన్ ద ఇయర్ 1920. In the field of education, he has been uncompromising exponent of the universalism, a truly liberal and humanitarian educational system he recommended. Azad's ideal was a fusion of Eastern and Western concepts of the man. His ideal was Western and Eastern concepts mixed for the human, create a fully integrated personality. Coming to the other works, his works are Basic Concept of the Quran, Kubar-e-Khatir, Darsi-Wafa, and India Wins Freedom. These are the some of his works. In 1947, he became the first education minister of Free India and remained this post until his death, 1958. And his tenure, he did tremendous work for the upliftment of the country's education. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was posthumously awarded India's highest civil honor, Bharat Ratna, in the year 1992. He get Bharat Ratna in the year 1992. What was the weekly journal started by him is Al-Hilal. These are the important aspects regarding the coming to the RADS. Headquarter is Beijing, China. Not the headquarter is in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. And Interstate Migration Policy Index, developed by Mumbai-based research non-profit India Migrant Now. This is somewhat correct. And 30-meter telescope, location Ladakh, India. No, 30-meter telescope has been established in the Hawaii Island of the USA and Mauna Kea. And purple frog restricted northeast only. Not, it is present in the Western Ghats. And Maulana Abul Kalam started a weekly journal in Urdu called Al-Hilal, which played important role in forging Hindu-Muslim unity. This also correct statement. These are the prelims facts regarding today.